Can you tell us a little bit about how you feel at school?
I kind of felt lonely. People weren't really asking me to play, and they weren't treating me like a good friend.
So what was that like?
Moving into the 21st century, there are some key issues that may not be able to be addressed in the home that spill into the schools.
Our test scores are up. We have more people moving in the area because of that. But the downside of that is this academic stress,
depression,
PTSD, suicide,
body dysmorphia.
That he accept me the way I am. Feelings of low self-esteem, and I'm not alone.
We need in our society, our kids need to help themselves grow up and be healthy adults. Bullying me, the medicine that nobody knew we needed.
What I really regret is not talking to someone, not seeking help that I should have. Yeah.
Have you ever felt scared? Raise your hand if you have. And of course, every hand in the room goes up. And you look around and realize you're not alone.
And everybody has had somebody in their life who tells them they're not pretty enough, not smart enough, not good enough in some way.
We get those messages at a very young age, many of us, and they really imprint strongly on us. So it's hard to change those. Stop that process and change that track and change it to new thoughts. And then keep on doing that till finally those new thoughts that we're putting in there replace the old ones. Well, we need some techniques to how to do that.
Not everybody has somebody in their life to tell them that you're a good person, you're a beautiful person.
When I was in 5th grade, my family got into a car accident. My mom was, she was the one that got the most hurt, and she was unable to walk us to school. I didn't know what the organization was, but then I heard my friends started joining, so I asked my mom, and then she started letting me come.
I love seeing the spark of inspiration in the kids. I love being able to turn on a light that says, I can do this.
And I just actually moved to the Valley within the last year. I was in the Marine Corps before this, an infantry officer. And I'm up here in front trying to talk to the group, trying to give my message of what I think was important that day. And I hear from someone in the back, a freshman girl raises her hand and shares a story that was just totally mind-blowing and much more relevant than what I was sharing and much more impactful for the whole group. I think that was an important part for me to kind of recognize that I'm here to guide and direct as much as possible, but also to learn, and that they have tons of knowledge, a wealth of knowledge and information.
So, everyone says, how do you find the time to volunteer? And for me, the answer is, you can get caught up in work and your work life and what's going on and all of the back and forthing. And then you come here and you realize that what you're doing at work, it's great and all, but that's not what really matters. It's reaching out to the kids in this community and working with them and seeing them get excited about stuff. And it just puts everything else in perspective.
I've learned so many skills from working with kids to working with other people around me, working in groups, in projects, in fundraisings. I know it might sound like cliche and stuff, but it was like a second home. Like, you had your friends at school, like of another family at school, and then you had your family here.
I think that a lot of companies in the Valley would be supportive of people coming down here to organizations like the Boys and Girls Club and giving back.
My goal is to inspire one kid. If I get one kid in any week to just sort of stop and think and reevaluate how they look at the world, then I think we've won. So.
World's greatest. Come on. The world's greatest. I am a mountain. I am a tall tree. Oh, I am a swift wind sweeping the country. I am a river down in the valley. Oh, I am a vision and I can see clearly. If anybody asks you who I am, just stand up tall, look them in the face and say, I'm that star up in the sky, I'm that mountain peak up high. Hey, I made it, I'm the world's greatest. And I'm that little bit of hope when my back's against the ropes. I can feel it, I'm the world's greatest. I am a giant, I am an eagle, oh, I am a lion down in the jungle. I am a marching band, I am the people, oh, I am a helping hand, I am a hero. If anybody asks you who I am, just stand up tall, look them in the face and say, I'm that star up in the sky, I'm that mountain peak up high. Hey, I made it, I'm the world's greatest, and I'm that little bit of hope when my back's up against the ropes. I can feel it, I'm the world's greatest. In the ring of life, I'll reign love, I will reign, and the world will notice again. Oh yeah. I made it. I'm the world's greatest. I'm that little bit. I'm that little bit. Oh yeah. I can feel it, feel it. I'm the world's greatest. Whoa. I'm that star up in the sky. Oh yes I am. I done made it. I'm the world's greatest. And I'm that little bit of hope. Yeah. When my back's against the wall. I could feel I'm the world's greatest. I saw the light and that star up in the tunnel. I'm that mountain peak, even the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I'm the world's greatest. And fame was right there. I'm that little bit of fool, yeah. It used to be locked doors. Now I can just walk. I'm the world's greatest. And it's the greatest. Can you feel it? Say the greatest, yeah. Can you feel it? Yeah. Yeah, I saw the light at the end of the tunnel.
Child Advocates of Silicon Valley recruits and trains CASA volunteers. These volunteers work one-on-one with foster children, ensuring the needs and best interests of the child are met. More foster children get the educational, therapeutic, and medical services they need when they are matched with a CASA volunteer.
Kids, when they're sent to us by the probation officer or judges, don't want to be there. They'll say, I think this is a total waste of my time. I don't have a problem. The only problem I have is I didn't run fast enough from the police. At Fly, what we do really well is inspire kids to want to change. America incarcerates more kids than any other country in the world. Fly's mission is to prevent juvenile crime and incarceration through legal education, mentoring, and leadership training. So a young person gets into the Fly program because they're mandated by their probation officer or their judge to attend our class.
In juvenile court, we have graduated sentencing. So that means every single time I come back, my sentence is going to get a little more serious and a little more serious.
First, we have a law program. This program's job is to use legal education as a way to help kids really understand in an engaging way what the consequences are for their behavior and how to use that understanding to make better choices.
That's good, but what are you going to do about school? I know you kind of put it off for a little bit.
Certainly the mentoring factor was enormous. This was pairing a student with an adult role model who would give them some knowledge that they were worthwhile, that they could succeed.
Having a mentor was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Anybody that's going to be a bad influence, they're not worth your life. Are you like...
I've been in and out of juvenile hall 4 times, all on drug charges. I got a DUI. Like, I had just hit rock bottom, and if I didn't change my life, I would be dead. I never thought I'd go to school. I was gonna drop out of high school, and I never thought I'd get a job, and I'm so happy now.
My name is Belle, and today I'm 18 years old, and I'm a freshman at De Anza College.
If we incarcerate a young person in California, we're spending over $100,000 a year. Conversely, in Fly, our most expensive program is our year-long leadership training program, which is $9,000 a year. And during that program year, over 75% of our kids do not pick up a new charge.
What we know is that the success rate with Fly is remarkable. And if we're able to continue with that success rate and expand that from just our county into other counties, then we'll start to change the path of what California looks like on the adult side of the house as well, because it really is about breaking cycles.
I wish him the best of luck and know that he will go far in life.
Jerome's a good kid. His father's not with him all the time, and there was a connection between me and Jerome with that. My father wasn't around a lot. Just tried to befriend him to help him understand that, hey, you know, I'll be there for you, to listen to you, to help you with whatever decision making you need to make. He's an incredible kid. I think he's probably influenced me more than, you know, I've influenced him.
He's helped me out a lot throughout my struggles in life.
You're going to be somebody who's there to listen to him. Like I told Jerome, one of the first things I said to him when we met, I said, Jerome, there's a possibility that I'll be attending your high school graduation. And so that's a long-term thing. And once you have that type of commitment, then the kids process it in their mind because they've already had a lot of hurts and a lot of pains. A lot of people made promises and then fall off.
If we had no volunteer mentors, we wouldn't have a program. It's very important to have more volunteers because we have a lot of the need for mentors are high right now. We have a lot of kids in the program that need a mentor.
Coming up as a kid, my mom raised 3 of us by herself. I was the oldest of 3. My mom worked 3 jobs sometime by herself in order to make ends meet. I was working at a young age, probably about 13, trying to go to school at the same time. I ended up skipping myself. I got caught shoplifting in the store one time, and my grandfather probably was, if anybody, was my role model. And my grandfather and my grandmother, even though they knew that I did it, they chose not to believe the truth. And my granddaddy, I remember him hitting the wall, and I've never seen him that angry before, and he says, if that boy said he didn't steal, he didn't steal. And that right there in itself, the fact that they stood beside me like that, because he did that, that made me get on the right path. And from that point on, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do what is right. Everything you do bears a consequence, and if you make bad decisions, you're gonna have to answer for them. You make good decisions, it's gonna sing praises of you.
He's always been around, so he's basically more than my mentor to me, so he's basically my best friend, so.
You're just talking about just giving them a few hours a week, giving them some advice. And I think the biggest thing is the consistency. If you meet with them every week, you'll find yourself by 2 months being emotionally tied into the success of your mentee.
You should become a mentor because just think about when you were young growing up and you needed someone to talk to and you couldn't because you felt like your parents or your friends are going to be judgmental of what you're telling them. As a mentor, you come in and you become that person that they talk to, they turn to, and they can be open with and not be judgmental towards what they're telling you.
I'm extremely impressed with Southwest Key. The program itself, the people involved in this program are extremely passionate about taking care of the community and these kids. You want a place that's going to passionately take care of children and take care of the community. Southwest Key is a place for you to go.
In spring of 2014, Stand Up for Kids Silicon Valley opened an outreach center for homeless and at-risk youth. Made possible by generous donations from the Bay Area community, like the wonderful Witchy Women of Saratoga, the village is a safe place where homeless youth can get off the streets for a few hours. For us, our volunteers are just as important as our kids.
So my name's Carrie, and I started with Stand Up for Kids because I like going out into the community and talking with people. I think the minute you see what these kids go through, where they live, what they're overcoming, that you instantaneously just become connected. And you start to see that if they can do this on their own outside here, imagine if you gave them the tools to do other things in their life. So now with the village, they can shower, they can eat, they can take a nap, get their resume, and then eventually we start seeing the kids go from getting a job to getting back into school to wanting housing, and you develop that sense of friendship with someone who didn't trust anybody and then now will come to you and trust you. It's a really great feeling to see them go from I'm cold, I'm sleeping on the street to hey, I have a place to stay for the night, or just to call and tell you thank you because they ate today because of you. If it's something as far as just feeding an empty belly, that's one person that you helped today. And I truly think that if everybody was for one day to help one person, there wouldn't be any more people that needed help.
Our dedicated team of volunteers organize a number of events for our kids. Like Haircut Night. Local barbers and stylists donated their time and products to give our kids mini makeovers. Our kids loved it. Jeremiah couldn't stop brushing. We also had Madden and Taco Night. The kids and a couple of our volunteers competed with each other for a pair of new sneakers. Jeremiah won by a long shot. The village is also a place where fellow volunteers connect with each other. This is where we have our information and training sessions for new volunteers. If you're not convinced yet to be a part of our cause, then let our kids tell you why you should be.
They feed you, they clothe you, they shower you.
We don't shower you. Where would you be if you weren't here?
I don't know. Somewhere drunk, probably.
Why do you come to the village, Jeremiah?
To stay out of trouble, keep off the streets, come get resources over here.
Where would you be if you weren't here?
Like I said, on the streets, probably getting into trouble or something. This place actually cares about kids, and they actually follow through on this stuff. And I feel like you guys actually care about what we have to say, and actually care about trying to help us out with our life.
Looking back, I see I had the flame in me. I'm the wind that's carrying change. I'm chasing up.
My name is Elizabeth Cartagena. I am 20 years old and I'm a former foster child. Growing up in the foster care system, I dealt with feeling like ostracized. It was just hard because I wasn't stable enough to build friendships.
My name is Kajala Aziz. I'm facility manager and case manager for Unity Care. I've been working with Elizabeth for roughly 6 months. To me, Elizabeth epitomizes strength, courage, resilience, perseverance. She's been through so much.
I'm receiving a lot of help from Unity Care's team. They really help us cover just about anything going into adulthood when it comes to housing, of course, making sure that we're on top of things in school, employment opportunities for us, and therapy as well, because it's something that I think all of us youth need.
She's still been able to get her high school diploma. She just got her AA degree, and she has aspirations of going on to the University of Santa Clara.
It is important that I have a studio apartment to show myself independence. I have my own place where I can express myself how I wish. This community is getting better. I see a lot of kids running around and things like that. Overall, it's safe.
The TAY program needs funding for rental assistance because we provide subsidized housing for over 50 foster youth.
I don't know where I would be exactly without THP plus FC, without Unity Care. I don't know if I'd be able to maintain in school.
The cost of housing in Silicon Valley impacts everyone, so just imagine how it impacts our youth. Without our assistance, they really don't have a chance.
It's important to help a child who doesn't have their parents and their family. It will show us that we're worth something and that we're worth that time and their effort and their energy.